Hey, y'all, Captain E here with Southern English Radio Show, and we're coming up on 10 years of Southern English Radio Show and having a great time every Saturday morning, sharing all the fishing and outdoor stories here along the Grand Strand and trying to help your days on the water a lot better. I want to thank my incredible team, Captain Chris Regan of Carolina Hook and Fly, Captain Jason Burton of Merle's Inlet Fishing Charters, Captain Fred Rourke of Sweet Tea Fishing Charters, also Captain Matt Barnador, Blackwater Therapy, Mr. River Rat himself out at Walkamaw Outfitters, and the one and only Mr. Green Jeans, Tommy Buchanan of South Carolina DNR, and Tony the Bassmaster Carter for helping make the show exactly what it is. Every Saturday you hear us telling some incredible stories and about our adventures on the water, and you can actually go enjoy those adventures yourself. Give any of these captains a call, Captain Chris, Captain Fred, Captain Jason, or Captain Matt. Get out and enjoy what we have here to offer, and also don't look at it like a fishing charter. Look at it like a classroom setting, because you can learn so much fishing with these guys. If you want to get in touch with them, hit me up at trilogyoutdoorsmedia@gmail.com, or pay attention to the show. We give out their contact info. But anyway, it's been a great time. It's been an incredible 10 years. We can't wait for March and celebrating that big 10th anniversary. Thank you for tuning in. Again, Southern English Radio Show here every Saturday from 8 to 10 on Gator 107.9. Good morning, fish heads. Welcome to the Southern English Radio Show, coming to you live via the Toyota Tundra Studio, presented by Sparks Toyota, where the dealer is always in.
And by Key West Boats and Marshall's Marine of Lake City and Georgetown, where every day is a boat show.
Every day.
Hey, and by the Freedom Boat Club, where your boat is waiting.
Hey, and speaking of waiting boats, boy, Captain Chris has had a busy morning down here.
A little excitement. We got it all figured out, and we're good to go and up and running.
You know what, though? That's the thing you guys are always good at, though, getting it figured out.
You got to. You got to. Got to make people happy.
Speaking of which, how many? All right, so now Sprinkles has got the Grand Chillin',
Yep.
old Grand Chillin' back in the water. How many boats combined now do y'all have between On the Fly and MIFC?
With flats boats, we're up to 12 boats.
12. Wow.
Yeah. So we've got everything covered. You want to do shallow water to offshore? We got you.
Wow. That is awesome. Hey, we are here live at Merle's Inlet Fishing Charters. Contrary to our plans, which were to be at Sparks Toyota, and I will tell you that scheduling a big remote party on Easter weekend was not very smart, and I am the king of making not so smart decisions. Unfortunately, Captain Chris actually had to give a charter away so he could be with us this morning.
Thank you for that, sir.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we do appreciate it, Chris. And the rest of the crowd, obviously picked up some trips, and they're busy. The weather this week was terrible as
It was.
March. I'm so ready to see March go
I
by.
am too. Yesterday was our best day, and even at the end of our afternoon trip, it really started blowing again. But the morning was beautiful. It was a little chilly, no wind, fish bit good. Afternoon, same thing. It was beautiful out. So we started out with 5 layers and got down to 2 by the end of the day, and we're sweating.
So I know a guy yesterday morning who went turkey hunting, and that individual did not look at Ed's forecast.
Oh no.
And that individual took his 6-year-old son, and I left my house. It was 45 degrees. When I arrived at the hunting grounds, it was 37. And contrary to normal belief, anybody that's a turkey hunter understands these colder mornings, you don't expect to hear them. Like, dude, it was the perfect day to go. Russ got to get excited, his heart pumping. But unfortunately, he was shaking so bad. And it wasn't because of being excited.
Yep.
We were freezing.
Oh, no.
But if anything, yesterday was enough to make him, he will go back.
He's got the bug.
Well, man, when you got 5 toms within 100 yards of you, and they are just competing, it's just nonstop. That's exactly what it sounded like right there.
That's the coolest thing.
Just nonstop. It's enough to get you going. But so I'm gonna, here I am. This is week number 2 of admitting mistakes. So, fortunately, we did not shoot a turkey yesterday.
Sometimes seeing that, though, that's enough to get him excited, get him interested, where he wants to go back and do it again.
But let me explain to you why. Folks, if you have a young child who falls under the don't need a license, please understand, if it's a permitted animal, in other words, a turkey or a deer,
they still have to have the permit. I did not know. Therefore, we will not be going back until we go to Ainer and go get our turkey tags
Oh, no.
for Russ. So, yes, great. Everything worked out perfect yesterday because I can just see, obviously immediately upon harvesting that bird, we would have been taking pictures.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been on Facebook,
Yep.
and here would have been this turkey with no tag on his leg. And so
I did not know that either. So.
Honestly, I did not. And
Me neither, dude.
No.
It shocked me. I was like, they don't have to have a license, but they have to have I guess it's because it's a federally protected
Yeah.
animal.
No, it's just because it's a permitted, and I'll tell you why. Typically, that permitting is to keep up with accounts. It helps with
Yeah, oh, yeah.
harvest
100%.
harvest count. So and real quick, I meant to do this first thing. St. James Sharks golf team had their record-setting day yesterday. I believe they're at Tradition Club playing in a big tournament. I want to wish all of them the best of luck today as round 2. Jackson Denny, 75, I think, is what he fired.
Wow.
Best of luck to the entire golf team, and that's awesome. I'd like to be giving them a shout out for catching big fish. But hey, golf's important too. I'll tell you.
Hey.
Growing up myself, we didn't have bass fishing back then for high school and middle school and first graders and everything else. So,
Yeah, we did. You was just the nerd if you did that.
you're right. Yeah, you couldn't. Well, I guess you could be a nerd, but where I grew up, there wasn't much nerds. You were redneck or redneck. You're a redneck or redneck.
I'd like to see it go back to those days for just a little while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, let me real quick. Let's talk about who we have joining us. Speaking of Sparks Toyota, my friend Michael Holmes. We have talked about him. We've had him on the show in the past. Michael's son Luca was diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago, I believe. Has fought a very hard battle and at this point is winning it. And with that being said, Michael wanted to do something for other families that will be challenged with this diagnosis and all the things that go along with it. So Michael has started a 501c, and they are going to be helping other families with this through a golf tournament to start off with. They'll be doing this summer. We'll talk with Michael about that. Michael's going to join us after the sales meeting out there at Sparks, which, hey, get out there, find a Tacoma or Tundra or anything. It's the end of the month. Got to go ahead and
That's
move
right.
them cards. Go out there and see Michael or Dave Bowering. Of course, the one and only Chip Bull. And if he's not fishing, he's selling cars. Do you know who that is?
I do.
Yeah, the Blue Express.
I
Yeah,
do.
you know.
I do.
So get out there and visit any of that sales staff. But also join us, Jason Grant, First Mates. And I'll tell you, First Mates is a really cool company. Their concept was great, I thought, when they started.
Yeah.
You follow them on Facebook?
I do.
And Jason is revamping, rebuilding, rebranding the Meat Fish Slam out of the Georgetown Landing Marina. I've always said in the past that tournament could be a really big tournament since we had, no other local really, short-term offshore tournaments like other than the Blue Marlin event down there.
Down there, yeah.
And he has done a great job. Got some incredible sponsors. The price is unbelievable to get into the general tournament. It is unbelievable. But Jason is going to be joining us from the water. He's actually fishing in Georgetown right now. Jason's going to join us and talk about that. Don't forget, I know everybody's really started talking about the Habitat for Humanity Inshore Slam down in Georgetown. That is coming up. It'll be here before you know it. But prior to that, we obviously got the Flounder Tournament on the 27th.
27th, that's right.
I think we're all going to be participating in that. And then after that is the Shillelagh. Everybody give me, Gary, I'm so sorry. I can never say it right. The Shillelagh Flounder Tournament. But then we've got the Kids Fishing Rodeo in Georgetown County, which is always a blast at Eight Oaks, coming up in May. But, man, it's that time of the year. It's super, great things happening. You're fishing with us on the 14th. This is another thing, the Marshall's Marine fishing tournament that we're having.
Here.
On the 14th?
Yes,
Here.
yes, I will be here.
Yeah, it's a private tournament.
Sunday,
I'm sorry, folks.
yes.
Yeah, but it is
I got to remember that.
Marshall's Marine Appreciation Day and Trilogy and MIFC and On the Fly. We're going to have a good time. We're going to go out and, man, so here's one thing I thought about. Carolina hook and fly. I know, dude.
It's okay.
Am I saying on the fly?
Yep. It's okay.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
Okay. Anyway, well, this is what happens when you take
They're
two,
both still
when
alive.
you take two
Yes.
big names and combine them.
That's it.
You know, but we are going to have a blast. And in talking yesterday with Scotty, I said, you know what we're going to do? There's going to be a Barbie rod on every boat.
There should be.
So no matter what you catch on that boat, for your fish to count, you have to catch a fish on a Barbie rod.
I'm down for it.
And it's going to have to be videoed. You're
Yeah.
going to have video of it. And hopefully by then we'll have the new Trilogy Outdoors television up out here.
Yeah.
So we can come back and we can watch everybody's catch. And we're going to be watching the final round of the Masters.
That'll be fun.
So in which Tiger Woods is coming back. Hopefully he'll be playing on Sunday.
We'll see how it goes.
I am a big Tiger Woods fan.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
it's hard not to be. It's hard not to be. I'm sorry. But the man makes golf what it is. He does. He has.
Look at what he's done for it.
Look at what he's done for it. Yes, has he had some hiccups?
Yes,
Yes,
everyone has.
We all have. We all have had some hiccups. Sean Bond, our good buddy from down at Crazy Sister Marina, also may be joining us. I'm hoping he's. I know they had some shrimping plans today. They were gonna. They had a permit for a test drag.
Oh.
So off the beach here. So I know that Robert and some of the guys were going to do that, but he said that he may roll over on the golf cart and come hang out with us. But
Is that through Coastal?
I'm sorry.
Is that through Coastal Carolina?
No, I think it's through the state.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I think it's through the state.
I know the.
Maybe we
Coastal-
get him to explain it if he shows
Yeah,
up.
the research boat has been down there all week.
Okay.
Parking there, so
Yeah,
that's
the
why,
big-
that's
the
why I was
big boat.
curious. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the fishing real quick. Let's talk about Merle's Inlet. What's biting?
It's actually been pretty good. We that wind and cold, we hit a little snag. It got tough for us. You really had to work for it. But yesterday was an amazing day. Everything, trout, reds, black drum, they're all still here. We've had a couple good, I think our biggest flounder this week was just over 3 pounds.
Yep.
20 and a half inches. Jimmy caught that, and it's getting better every day. And if we can get this stable weather pattern to continue, it's only going to get hotter. So there's a lot of short flounder in the creeks. You just got to kind of pick through them and put your time in. But there's fish here.
Yeah. So did I see any bonito pictures?
There is.
Okay.
They're still here.
Good.
Spanish are showing up. The blues are really thick. So there's a lot of stuff to be caught. There's still sheepshead and black drum at the reefs.
Yep.
They're all still there. So we just need the weather to get there.
You mentioned bluefish,
Yeah.
and I know they get a really bad rap, but
Have you ever
I
eaten
don't
them?
care. This time of the year,
Yeah.
the bluefish are freaking huge.
They are angry too.
They are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They are a lot of fun.
Artificial light tackle. It's hard to beat that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people that eat them.
Are you casting jigs at them, or what are you doing?
Casting leads, stuff like that.
Okay.
Clark spoons. You can put a trolling sinker on with a short leader with a Clark spoon on and accomplish the same thing.
Now, you and I were talking about weakfish in text the other day. That certain spot where I was talking about where I found them.
Yeah.
Are those males, you think? Because we didn't catch any big ones. And I was just wondering, do you think the males come here and then make the move to the reef to do their deal? I mean, obviously it takes a male and a female to do
It's
that.
a strong possibility. I don't know. I completely forgot about those fish yesterday because I probably should have went out there and tried to target them.
Yeah.
But I know at the reef yesterday, they did not bite until a certain point in the tide.
Yep.
So they were getting very finicky, and you had about a 20 to 30-minute window where if you had 5 people on the boat, you couldn't keep up.
Right.
So they just chewed.
They so when I found them last Sunday, I told you it was a weird deal. I spun the live scope around and saw 7 fish, and all of a sudden they started biting. It was fun. I mean, I've got video, and out of respect to you, I have not shared that video because it does show exactly where we are. But I mean, we have we're doing a countdown on the bobber, like literally. Like Russ throws us out there. We put it out. We come to the computer screen. I'm videoing the live scope, and I'm like, "All right, Russ, your bobber is getting ready to go down." And we pan over, and the bobber's down.
That's funny.
But they were all pounders, pound and a half, legal, but
Yep, just barely.
That's another limit. Weak fish, gray trout, summer trout. That's another limit that I just am blown away by.
I wish they would do a reassessment of it. Well, I mean, it's been like that for a couple of years when there was that big fish kill.
Yep.
A
In
lot of
Virginia,
those were
right? Or somewhere up north.
all up and down the coast. We actually had a big fish kill here with it as well.
Okay.
So hopefully among all the other species that need to be reevaluated, hopefully that's one of them because there is a strong population of them. You can go out there and catch 100 of them in 20 minutes.
Right.
And the same thing, like you can throw small swim baits and catch them, and that is fun. You get a 2,500 or 3,000 on a light action rod, and that is a good time.
Yep. And what are your thoughts on the Texas regulation change on speckled trout?
I'm happy for it.
Yeah.
I think they needed it. You look at Texas and Louisiana, their limits were so high that, all the charter boat captains down there have been for years complaining about it. The same thing, the conservation, the population. A lot of the guys that I follow, Louisiana is one of the big ones that I follow.
Yep.
And every one of those ones down there, between the netting of the menhaden, just everything going on. The limits are too high.
Yep.
But
they are.
They are.
They
and
are.
That's the simple math on it. You're going to fish it out.
Man, you talk about some nasty dock pictures. Boy, they do it in Louisiana.
It's insane.
They do boat pictures where the deck of the boat,
entire bow,
it's just completely covered in reds and trout.
Yeah, they don't even. It takes too long to line them up. They just dump them on there.
Dump them on there. Yeah. And I'll tell you, I think our friends at Release Over 20, I noticed that they shared it obviously because they did take 20 inches as the max of the slot. Correct?
Yep. It is.
And then it's 130 or over.
One trophy fish. Yep.
So that 20 to 30 inches is protected.
And I think that is what we need.
So here's the other thing. I think 3 trout are plenty.
Yeah.
Listen, I would be happy with 5.
Trout doesn't freeze well.
Nope, it doesn't.
So
it's mushy.
Unless you're going to eat it fresh, it does not freeze well.
Yep.
It turns gray. It gets mushy. And even those big ones, you don't want to eat those anyway.
No.
It's like eating a big king mackerel.
Yep. All right. Well, Jenna, I'll tell you what, that's a great opening segment, guys. Thank y'all so much. Chris, thanks for making sure you could hang out with us today.
Absolutely.
We got a lot more show left, but we got some great interviews. Jenna, are you there?
I am.
All right. Listen, we're going to go to break. We come back on the other side of the break. I sat down with I'm going to call them the dream team, and I'm glad to have a part in putting them together. But Marshall's Marine has 2 new sales members down in Georgetown, Claire Collins and Captain Robbie Remsen, 2 good friends of mine. And I sat down with them yesterday to talk a little bit about life at Marshall's Marine and be a new salesman down there and, joining the family, not only as customers, but joining the family as a sales team member. And it was a great interview. So when we come back on the other side of this break, we're going to listen to that interview, Jenna.
Okay.
All right, here we go, folks. Hey, y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Got a great show today. This is the Southern English Radio Show on the Gator 107.9. Perry's Bait and Tackle has been making their customers' days on the water more successful and enjoyable for nearly 70 years. Perry's is a fully staffed and stocked family-owned tackle shop just north of the Marsh Wall. They have always taken pride in the best hand-tied rigs and a knowledgeable staff that is comprised of charter captains and experienced anglers. Their close proximity to the water allow them to offer the very best in live bait, and the options are endless. Perry's is now fully stocked with everything you need to make your day on the water a success. If you're in town visiting with no equipment, Perry's is your one-stop shop with apparel, tackle, baits, rods and reels, and boating supplies. Perry's Bait and Tackle, serving Murrells Inlet since 1954. All right, folks, we're back in live now. We are here on Jason's big wooden deck at MIFC. And joining us on the phone line now, like we promised, is our good friend Jason Grant of First Mates Marine, but also he is I'm calling you the tournament director, but I know you are the, dude, you're doing an incredible job building and promoting the Meat Fish Slam, which you and I talked about it, and I told you I thought it was a tournament that had not been getting enough exposure in years in the past, and I think this year you've done an incredible job and changing that format to where we can actually pick a couple days during that 7-day or 8-day span is crucial, dude. But let's talk real quick about the Meat Fish Slam and let everybody know the things that are going on with it, because I know you made some changes and everything else.
Right. Well, in the past, it's the month before the Marlin tournament in Georgetown, so it's always everybody's so hyped up about Marlin tournament. The meat fish is kind of a warm up. So it's been all right. Yeah, we're going to fish it, but nobody really talks about it, and let's make it bigger. Let's make it the tournament that gets looked forward to. So we decided to change the format to a week long. That way, give everybody more of an opportunity. Pick 2 days to fish, aggregate categories: dolphin, wahoo, tuna, and are all in a one up to you. And just that 2 day pick is just crucial for giving everybody an opportunity to get out there before fishing season really starts heating up.
Absolutely. And the format of the tournament overall is an aggregate of wahoo, tuna, and dolphin, correct?
Correct. Correct. You got to have all three.
Yep.
I think you hit it on the nose where it was always very last minute. You never saw any advertising for it. And it would pop up on like a Facebook memory or something like that.
I think you were in a group text last
year.
We said it was like 2 days before the tournament,
Yeah.
and we were like, "Hey, have any of y'all heard about this tournament?" No. I was like, "I guess they don't want the guys from Merle's Inlet to fish."
That's right.
I mean,
We want y'all there.
That was the way we looked at it. But
Yeah, it was hard. So I'm glad you're taking it under and doing some improvements and some changes to it.
yeah, and dude, the dockage thing. Explain how that works, because that's another issue that a lot of people have. You know, a lot of times with these boats, I mean, it's pretty expensive to run the boat from here down to Georgetown to weigh a fish and back. But let's talk about that. I think you've got some dockage set up.
Yeah, free dockage during the tournament week. That way, take y'all at Merle's Inlet. Just have a runner car, if you will, to take you back up. But the boat can stay at the marina all week, from that Friday before, Thursday before, whenever you want to get down, until the tournament ends that next Saturday, Sunday weekend. So no charge there. Come from wherever you want to. Leave the boat there. That way you don't have to worry about putting it in and out.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's nice.
That's a great idea, and I do know a lot of people that will take advantage of that. And there's not a party like a dock party at
not at all.
Georgetown Landing Marina.
That's probably one of the best features of this tournament. You know, we're never going to make it as big as, say, the Marlin tournament, but
you never
we're
know.
going to keep it where the captain, you never know. The captain's meeting and the awards party is always on the dock. We'll have food. We'll have plenty of beverages. But to get off the boat and the party be right there is always fun.
That is the fun. The camaraderie, the smack talking, all that good stuff. The side bets.
The side bet.
Yeah.
The side bet on who's going to win the party.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'll tell you what, the guys at Georgetown Landing Marina also have really stepped it up down there, and they probably don't hear it enough, but how much we appreciate them as anglers that fish the king mackerel series, the wahoo series, the dolphin series, in the fact that they give themselves up to be a weigh station. And
they do. They're always courteous. They'll help you tie the boat off. If you need some extra ice, they got you covered.
Yep.
They're always super polite to everyone.
They are. That crew down there is great. And, I think it's a perfect scenario. And again, like we mentioned, I don't think the tournament got near enough publicity in the past, and you have done an incredible job. Let's real quick, let's shift gears a little bit from this, because I want to talk about your business, because I really think your concept, when you and I met at the boat show 2 years ago, you had just you had just launched the First Mates Marine. Am I saying that correct?
That's correct.
First Mates Marine, and you were super pumped up, as we all are when we start a business, and I really thought your concept at that point was great. And now where you've moved and brought in some incredible pieces to the puzzle as far as your sales program, sales staff, and everything else. But real quick, explain to everybody what First Mates Marine is and exactly what you guys offer.
Okay. So we're out of Georgetown. 3 of us, including myself, used to work together for a long time at another marine dealer. So we have a service side, a finance side, and a sales side, but not your traditional boat dealer. So we are a, if you will, quote unquote, third-party finance company where we do new and used boats for any and everybody. You find a boat, we can finance it. We do help some dealers as their extension of staff, as their finance program for some dealers. So you go buy a boat at a couple dealers around here, we're the ones doing the financing for them. The other side is we're heavy on brokerage. I've tried to get friends and people I've worked with over the years up and down the coast from Bluffton, and now we just stretched. We're about to take a step over the state line. So we're covered Bluffton, Charleston, Murrells Inlet, Georgetown, North Myrtle Beach, and Little River area right now. I think we have 8 of us. I'm starting to lose count. And then we're also heavy on what we call boat management and mobile service kind of combined. So we will come to you to do anything, but we really push this proactive approach to boat management. You call us, we're your guy that you pick up the phone and say, hey, I have an issue coming up, or I'm coming down for Easter weekend. Can y'all go check on my boat, make sure everything's good to go before I get there? So you're spending time on the water and not time fixing your boat. So we offer plans that kind of are a prepaid way to just not worry about it, and all you have to do is pick up the phone. And it's anything from hurricane removal to full-scale audio solutions, power poles, trolling motors. If you just need it clean before you come down. A lot of guys in Georgetown that we have customers in, say, Devido or Belle Isle, they take advantage of what we call our walk-on, walk-off service, where they call us on, say, Wednesdays, and I'm coming down for the weekend. Can y'all get my boat in the water? So we'll go get the boat, fill it up with gas, clean it up, knock the pollen off, put it in the water, and they enjoy it on the weekend. And then Monday morning, we go pick it up and put it back in their yard or their storage area.
Nice.
That's
So
great.
those 3
That is
components,
awesome.
Yeah, that saves a lot of time with
Little
everybody's
different,
second houses.
you know.
I need to get y'all's number.
That side of things has really taken off, and that's kind of the center of everything we do, because once we get you as that boat management customer, we want to be your customer for everything in the future, to help you find a boat to buy, to help sell your boat.
Yeah,
you got
upgrade.
loan or registration questions.
That is that is an incredible service to offer, and you know, you keep mentioning that South End down there because that is a perfect scenario. I mean, that Devido, Belle Isle group,
Second homes, all
those are
that.
exactly
Right.
And you mentioned it again. The guys that come down, you know, they fly in I mean, a lot of them fly into Georgetown.
Yeah, they do.
And and drive over to the house, and man, the first thing they want to do is go catch a redfish, and they go down, and the battery's dead.
Yep.
The boat's
Right.
dirty as hell. And having that opportunity to just get on the boat, like you said, walk on, walk off.
And then you can cure the 2-foot-itis where you should have got that bigger boat.
Yep.
You know, you want that upgrade.
Yeah. But you want
There
that
you go.
2-foot-itis? We'll take care of it. We'll sell the boat while you're gone.
Exactly.
And we'll put the new boat on the. We'll have it on the trailer, on the
On the lift, wherever you
whatever.
want it.
We'll have it ready for you. How do people find out more information on First Mate Marine and on the tournament? Where can we send them to?
Okay, for First Mates, the website is firstmates.net. Firstmates.net.
Okay.
Then of course on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all those channels. Tournament wise, reach out to David at Georgetown Landing for any kind of entry or any specific tournament questions.
Yep. And I got that
If you
number.
don't mind,
I shared it. Yep.
Let me throw in one more tidbit for our sponsors for the tournament.
Yeah, please do.
Without them, we wouldn't have these aggregates. It would have just been a wash tournament. So I made one phone call to people I know that will be fishing, and they said, here's the money. So Green Wave Contracting, Win Y'all Record, Anderson Brothers Bank, United Rentals, and Coastal Structures, their civil and industrial division. So I think I got them all. Green Wave,
Yep.
United Rentals, Anderson Brothers, Win Y'all Record, and Coastal Structures. So
And what
all
they-
those guys jumped out the gate.
And what they did is, so we're talking bonus money for categories, correct?
Right.
That's in
Right.
there as well. General
Without
entry.
them, we wouldn't have that.
No way, but general entry. Let's talk about that, and we can go over the TWTs real quick. But what is the general entry for the tournament?
Just general basic entry is $200.
Have you ever fished in an offshore tournament for $200?
I don't. The redfish tournament's inshore more than that. You
The
know?
redfish tournaments are more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
How do you beat that?
You can't. And that was the other thing. The format you set up, you know, while you have that opportunity to go 2 days, you can actually win the tournament on one day.
You can, yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
If you get out there and have a Glenn Wilson day or a Jay Weaver day, you can go out there. You can go out there and do it in one day. But man, it's a great format, great tournament. We're glad to be a part of it, glad to be promoting it, and we're looking forward.
Thank you to Trilogy Outdoors for helping me too. Always.
Man, we appreciate the opportunity, man. It's been fun promoting it, and we're looking forward to it. That's going to be a fun week down there. I'm just hoping that my partner can get some time off from landscaping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need it. I got to start calling friends.
How do I lose my partner? I know. How do I lose my partner to a job?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the hard part.
Yeah, what's
How do I lose?
That is the hard part.
What is Lucas doing working? I mean, come on, dude. You're supposed to be a fisherman. Man, we're looking forward to it, Jason, and thank you so much for taking the time this morning. Now go back to catching brim, just so y'all
All
know.
right.
He's over there in the river catching fish. But thank you so much, and listen, if we can, we'll get on together again between now and then or something, or meet down there and shoot another video or do something before the tournament and get it on social
I
media.
was going to say before he goes, how's the bite over there?
Yeah, how
Are you catching?
Well,
Yeah, give us
I
a
mean,
freshwater
I'm fishing
report.
Here's my excuse, right? I'm fishing in uncharted territory because I'm staying in sail range, but I'm about to head south and hopefully find my holes.
There you go.
There you go. All right, man. Well, listen, best of luck to you, brother. Thanks for joining us again, okay?
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
All right, so let's go to one more commercial break, Jenna, and then we've got Michael Holmes going to be joining us. But the one and only Bert Williams is in the house. We're going to get him on next and talk to him about Monarch Roofing and everything going on over there. And Chef Richard has shown up. I don't think he thought he was going to be on. Don Nesmith is here.
Got it right.
Don Nesmith. And we'll try to shove in a 30-minute conversation in 5 minutes with him. We'll just give him the mic and let him do it. I love giving him a hard time. But anyway, Jenna, if you're ready, we'll go to commercial, and then we'll come back on the other side. All right, let's go to commercial. Hey, y'all, this is the Southern Anglers Radio Show coming to you live via the Toyota Tundra Studio here on Gator 107.9.
We all know that the inlet rocks when it comes to great fishing and good times on the boat. Now the description of why this inlet is so great is now the new bait and tackle shop here to serve a rocking good time to all the fish heads and anglers out there. Ronald Stalvey brings his enthusiasm, excitement, and genuine care for the angler to the new store and is ready to serve all your fishing needs. If it's live bait, hand-tied rigs, the hottest in artificial baits, frozen baits, apparel, and much more, they have you covered. If you need anything that you don't see, just let Ronald know. Stop in and welcome them into town and get all the latest reports. Inlet Rocks Bait and Tackle opens daily at 5:30 a.m. and is located on 17 Business, just a quarter-mile south of the Murrells Inlet Landing.
All right, fish heads, welcome back to the Southern Anglers Radio Show coming to you live via the Toyota Tundra Studio, presented by Sparks Toyota, where the dealer's always in.
And by Key West Boats and Morrison Marine of Lake City and Georgetown, where every day is a boat show.
Every day.
By the Freedom Boat Club, where your boat is waiting.
And by Monarch Roofing. And guess who's in the house?
Bert's in the house.
Bertalicious.
Bert is on the deck, actually.
As my wife has coined him, Bertalicious is in the house. Bert, what's up, buddy?
Man, we got a beautiful day, don't we?
We do, man.
I love it being outside out here, man.
Hey, I can't believe you're not running the. And by the way, we want to mention best of luck to. Oh my God!
Turn that around here, let me see.
Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Caleb has brought his charter back for a restroom break.
Woo.
And
Man.
how many inches?
He's 26, which is a good one, but the girth on it.
26-inch speckled trout, and I'm just telling you, that's the.
How wide do you think that thing
That
is?
thing's
The
beautiful.
girth on that
This
thing.
this thing is unbelievable. Will you send that to me so I can share it? I'll put it on Facebook.
I got a release video too. She let it go.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
That is awesome.
Nice.
Congrats.
Yeah, that is a trophy right there.
That is awesome, and you just heard him say that the customer chose to release that fish. That's awesome.
That's really good. That's really good.
We've been
Win,
trying to
win,
promote
win.
it. We're trying to do more and more of do that to sustain the population.
Well, the front lines of the battle for that and conservation. I hate to. Well, I mean, no, I love saying it.
Yeah.
It's you guys. It's every
We're-
single one of y'all.
we're
It's
trying.
us. It's. I mean, you know, we talk about wanting regulations.
Yeah.
We talk about wanting to see changes.
You have to
We
practice
don't.
what you preach.
We practice what we preach, and if we do it ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
Tony heard Russ yesterday. Can we keep it? Can we keep it? Can we keep it? Like, dude, we're not going to keep that fish. Like, we're going to release it. It was legal fish, but we let it go. But
yeah.
Hey, dude, at the end of the day, it's we police ourselves,
Yep.
and nobody else has to. So we don't really need regulations to make us do stuff like that. We just do it on our own. So
That big female, I bet over 1 million eggs a year she drops.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So,
tank, dude.
hey, we got Monarch Roofing on. We got Bert here.
Yeah.
We'll talk to him. But I do want to bring something up real quick with the trout. I was explaining to somebody yesterday. I said, and you tell me if you agree. Every full moon brings a wave of trout into spawn.
Yes.
I don't think every trout spawns at every full moon.
No.
I think that every full moon brings trout in to spawn.
It does.
And, that was why yesterday I thought that for sure I could catch one trout. But as luck would have it, not a trout. But anyway, the man that always has luck on his side, that is the one and only Bert Williams here. Bert, we Monarch Group and you guys are involved in so much throughout the Grand Strand, and I'm putting you at the head of that because I know you are involved in all the public relations and everything else. But let's talk about some things that you've got coming up.
Yeah. First of all, yesterday we did a big thing for the Vietnam Veterans Day. I was able to take 100 Chick-fil-A sandwiches to the vet center. And there was a ton of people that were really appreciative of that. And
right.
It was real emotional watching those guys and what they've been through and listening to them talk. And that was fantastic. So I love doing that. Coming up, we are participating in the Dragon Boat.
Yep.
Which is always a fun event.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to that, it's awesome.
Draws a big crowd.
Great family event there. And at the same time, I won't be there. We've got 2 events that day. So I'll be at the Heritage Festival in Sauk City by the Swing Bridge. We were one of the sponsors out there, and that's another family-friendly event that has, bouncy houses and bands and vendors and everything, and we'll have a huge tent out there.
Let's talk about the Dragon Boat real quick. So do y'all have a team?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're handpicked.
So is it employees?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
right.
It's the studs at Monarch, pretty much. Martin picks his team. So
Well, I'm going to say this
very
much. You
competitive.
talk about roofers. I mean, you got some studs
Oh,
over
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You got some studs.
We got a good team. We finished, I think, 4th last year. But they really get into it, and it's a great event.
Well, and with all that y'all do giving back, there's got to be business that coincides with it.
Yeah.
We know that Monarch Roofing is at the forefront of roofing along the Grand Strand.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that. How does somebody, we're coming up. We hate to talk about it, but that season is right around the corner. We're
It's
going to
roofing
have
season right now. That's
Yep.
what Martin says. It's roofing season, and we're staying busy. I mean, I'm pleased to say that our first quarter was a record quarter for us in 17 years. So we're off to a great start. The momentum is huge right now, and we're just busy every day. But, the thing we promote the most is our roof tune-up.
Yep.
As I told you before, we'll get up on your roof for free, take pictures, take videos, send them down to you, let you know what we think needs to be done. If it's a minor fix, we'll just go ahead and fix it for you for free while we're up there. And then you make the decision how to proceed from there. But that's totally free. All you have to do is call Monarch and ask for it.
Well,
Awesome.
we're sitting here at MIFC, home of 12 charter boats now, we've decided, and looking at Myrtle's Inlet and watching 20 charter boats drive by. I'll be honest with you, the roofing industry here along the Grand Strand seems a lot like the charter business.
It really
Pop
is. You
up.
see the trucks going by every day,
Yep.
anywhere you're at.
But you also see a lot of them come and go. Monarch Roofing is here to stay, and why? How are y'all able to do that?
Well, it's just the quality that we provide. From start to finish, we're top notch. We're trained. Everybody's trained in their area. We have several different departments, from inside sales to CSIs that do all the calls and talk to the people. But from the initial conversation you get to your roof being finished is beyond extraordinary. People brag on that all the time. They're like, you did a great job. You kept us communicated throughout when things were going to happen. They happen on time. That's how you build a reputation, and that's what we've done, and that's why we succeed.
And that's
Absolutely.
good. Even that, you fix things if you see them out of place.
Yeah. We did little things, and like I say, if we have the roof, you might not need a roof right now, but when you need a roof, you're going to call us because of what we did for you.
Yeah, for a little, caulk glue to hold the shingle down.
And we get that all the time too. Yep. And I love when I go to events and stuff, and all I hear is like, "Oh, you did it on my roof 2 years ago. Oh my God, you did such a great job." I've never heard one bad comment from anybody at all the events I've been at. It's just like, "Oh, you did my roof. Oh, you did my neighbor's roof. You did my whole neighborhood's roof."
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Word of mouth. It works great. And advertising, and we appreciate y'all advertising with us.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Appreciate you.
Let's talk about fishing. You got any plans to do any fishing here in the spring? I know we're going to try and take trip, right?
Yes,
Right.
yeah. We got to organize that. But, I really need a boat, but that's kind of hard to pull in my little car that I got, so I'd have to give you a truck, too.
Yeah, we saw that car and that new golf cart.
Yeah. So, but no, I got friends with boats, so thank goodness. Hopefully, maybe Lee Rowland might take me fishing with him and Taylor. But I might fish a fishing tournament with them here or there. And then, like we've talked about, I'm trying to organize a fishing tournament for Monarch, and
Yep.
you're going to work with me on that.
We're gonna work with
It's
you.
in the working stages. It'll be our first one, so it'll be a learning experience. just like the golf tournament was. But we'll try to raise money for veterans in that way too. We call it Shelter for Veterans, where we're able to do houses for replace roofs for veterans. From the golf tournament, we've been able to do one a month so far. We're going to do one a month this year, just with what money we earn.
Yeah, that is awesome, dude. And again, probably the people that get the least thanks and the least appreciation are the veterans.
That's right.
And how does somebody how does somebody nominate somebody for that? What is the way to? How do we contact you if we've got that veteran that we know?
Yeah, you can go online to our website and just enter your information in, and then we'll come out and take a look at at the house, see what it looks like, talk to them, and we'll just kind of assess it from there.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
I mean, you can call me and I'll call them, if you want to do that.
Yep. All right. So golf balls. This is the funniest thing. We were talking about this. So Bert got Martin to do some personalized golf balls with Bert's beautiful face on it. And these things have shown up. What's the furthest so far that somebody has reported they found your golf balls?
I want to think maybe Arizona, maybe.
Wow.
We got one in
this
Savannah.
is crazy.
Savannah.
I mean,
I had one in True Blue. I've had them around here too, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
craziness.
Man.
So if you find one of Bert's golf balls and you call and report it, you get a sleeve.
Yeah.
You get a sleeve of brand new Pro V1 X's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. I've got a whole new stock in, so I've got plenty of them now.
Cool.
So.
Well,
It's fun, man. It's fun to promote that way.
I want to bring up something that we were talking about off the air earlier, but the Kingfisher Inn. Y'all explain that to me. So what happened? So for anybody out there that doesn't know, Kingfisher Inn, growing up, I mean, Bert and I grew up hanging out.
Surfing right beside it, yeah.
Well, you lived there.
Yeah.
But hanging out there, and, I mean, it's gone. It literally
They're saying
is.
Yeah.
So as of
Been condemned.
yesterday,
Yeah.
they just say we're done.
Structurally unsound.
Evacuated everybody and relocated them.
Wow.
They had notes on every door saying you had to leave.
On a holiday weekend, too.
I know.
Gosh.
Wow.
They're lucky if they can find these people places to stay.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Did why didn't we do the why didn't we do the 5K run for the inlet this morning? We should have all done that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
we could have all piled in the back of my Toyota Tundra.
Well, we're going to do it.
We could have done the radio show in the back of the truck, driving the 5K.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
We could have done it as a relay race, and I'll take the first 20 yards.
There you go.
Yeah. Dawn can have the second 30 yards.
Hey, and we could have let Monarch sponsor the bartender. We could have had the bar in the back of the truck. Oh, it would have been awesome. That could have.
Bloody Marys for everybody,
That would have been awesome, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, what's your? All right, so we know your biggest flounder was what, 5?
5.5 pounds.
And that was in the
In
tournament.
that fishing tournament, yep.
Yep.
25.5 inches.
All right, next to that was your redfish from North Carolina, one of those big
I
reds?
caught tons of those, yeah.
Yeah.
And then my biggest fish was a sailfish I caught out of Hatters. That was a big one. He's probably about maybe 7, 8 feet. But that was fun because he jumped in the air like 10 times.
Oh, yeah.
They're awesome.
There's some big ones up there.
That was fun. We caught like 5 that day. But, man, it was fun. And you don't have to run as far out up there either.
Nope.
No, that's awesome up there. I tell you what, that
beautiful.
fishery up there is incredible.
It really is.
Beautiful. You can get turned around real quick up there and not realize where you're at because you're close to shore.
You are?
Like,
And that's a year-round fishery.
Yeah.
and king mackerel. Oh,
Yeah, that's where we got ours.
I mean, y'all. What was yours? 40? What was it?
Higher.
50 something, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd have to look back and see what the
59?
exact weight was.
58?
It was up
something.
there.
It was, yeah.
I'm on the
huge.
spot right now, so I can't remember.
The guy's boat we fished off of, he won the Big Rock one time.
That's a million. No, multi-million.
Well, his boat was a multi-million-dollar boat we were able to do. That thing was huge.
Who was it? Do you remember?
It was it was a red boat. I can't remember. Fever. Maybe Harris Fever. But he had 3 of them up there.
What's the name of the fever fleet up there?
There's a couple of them up
Yeah,
there.
isn't one of them on the tuna?
That's
Tuna Fever's
Frenzy.
one.
Isn't it? Is
Oh,
it Tuna
Frenzy.
Fever? Yeah.
Fishing Frenzy is the red one that's
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, but this boat was red, but yeah.
That's right.
It was fun, but yeah.
That's right.
I like fishing for those bull reds too, though, man.
All right. Well, listen, Bert.
Thanks for having me, brother.
No, man, it's great to have you. Listen, I want to challenge somebody. Listen, we got the rod right here, ready to go. Bert, let them get you set up with a mud minnow, and we've got 25 minutes left in the show.
Okay.
I want you to go catch a flounder off the dock, and trust me, Chris, tell him you can catch a flounder off this
You
dock.
can do it. Absolutely.
So we're going to get you set up with bait while we go to break. I'm going to get Michael Holmes on the line here from Sparks Toyota to talk about his charity group, and we're going to get Chef Richard over to sit down with us as well. We're going to have a great time here, but we're having fun here. MIFC.
61 and a quarter. That's what our fish was.
Wow, it was over 60. How did you forget?
I didn't want to give you the wrong
How do you
number.
forget the
I didn't want to give you the wrong number.
pound mark?
I got put on the spot. You know?
All right, Jenna, you ready to take us a break? Last break. This is it.
Sure.
All right, let's go to break. I got to get Michael on the line, so we'll do that. Go run the break real quick. Come back on the other side, and we'll have Michael on. If not, Chef Richard's going to join us. Don Nesmith is going to join us. So we got plenty to go in this last 25 minutes. So don't go anywhere. This is the Southern Anglers Radio Show, and it has been 6 years that we've been right here on Gator 107.9.
Michelob Ultra and Myrtle Beach wholesaler Southern Crown Partners Incorporated know our consumers enjoy relaxing days on the water with Mick Ultra's crisp and refreshing taste in hand. It's important to remember to drink and boat responsibly. Choose to be or to designate a sober skipper before leaving the dock. Do it for your family and friends, your passengers, and everyone else on board. Michelob Ultra salutes all sober skippers who take the pledge. Cheers, and we'll see you on the water.
All right, fish heads. Hey, this has been a great show, but we are back. We're live, coming to you via the Toyota Tundra Studio, presented by Sparks Toyota, where the dealer's always in.
And by Key West Boats and Marshall Marine of Lake City and Georgetown, where every day is a boat show.
Every day.
By the Freedom Boat Club, where your boat is waiting.
Hey, and I'll tell you what, speaking of Sparks Toyota, we have mentioned that Michael Holmes was going to join us, and he is joining us now via the showroom at Sparks Toyota. And Michael, good morning, my friend.
Good morning. How are you?
Man, we're doing great, buddy. It is so good to have you on and to talk about what you've got going on and everything. Now, first and foremost, let's talk about Luca. Talk about our big man and tell everybody exactly the situation that was thrown at you guys, 3 years ago now? Yeah. Am I right? Is it 3?
A little over 2.
2, okay. Let's talk about that real quick. A little bit
more than 2. Yeah, it's been obviously it's a challenge whenever one of your children become ill. As a parent, it's extremely difficult because you obviously don't have any control over trying to make them better or to help them any way. So he was diagnosed late January of 22 with leukemia. One of the most common being the ALL type B, and it's been a long road. It's definitely one of the longest and most difficult marathons you can be on as a parent. But he's been treated down at MUSC, which they are amazing. That new children's hospital is amazing, as you know.
Sean Jenkins Hospital is
Sean
incredible.
Jenkins Hospital.
Yep.
They really have the best staff in the state. They're just awesome.
Well, you've also had you and your wife and Luca have had the privilege of meeting some of our therapy dogs that I have the pleasure of helping fund for down there.
And that was actually before we ever met you.
Yep.
In your organization, we were at a couple different appointments, and we got to meet about 2 or 3 different therapy dogs that you've helped with.
Yep, I'm pretty sure
it makes a huge difference to a child.
Absolutely.
Just to be, to see something because kids obviously are familiar with animals. They may have an animal at home, a dog, and when they see an animal at a place that realistically is totally different, a hospital is not a normal place for a child. It comforts them, and it really makes a big impact and really brings a ton of joy that you can see.
It brightens their smile.
Makes a huge difference.
Yep. And you've started, let's see, so we started the golf tournament. Now this will be year 3.
This will be our third annual golf tournament. This is our first year as a full foundation. We have our board that we've put together. It's something that we really want to pay it forward with all of the help in the community, and it takes a village to get through something like this.
Yes, and you and I have had
contact with so many parents and so many families, and just to be able to help.
You and I have had several conversations about this since diagnosis and everything else, and I think First off, let's promote the golf tournament first because I really want to promote your group and your new organization because I think where you're going with
Absolutely.
this is absolutely perfect. But let's promote the golf tournament now because I know it's going
Yep.
to fill
So
up
it's going to
quick.
be, yep, it's this summer. It's July 28th at World Tour. This is our first year playing at World Tour. We're super excited. Um, and we've had a lot of great opportunities, making great connections. And Matt Daly is one of the directors of that group, of the founders group. And he and I have had many conversations, and it really hits home because his family was affected by cancer. So it really it's something that you know as a parent when you're going through things, it's considered a rare thing for parents to ever have to deal with, but it's becoming more and more common in the past decade than I think most people realize.
Yep, no doubt about it. And you and again, I think a most recent conversation a couple weeks ago, you and I spoke while I was sitting in the parking lot at Palmetto State Armory about this event and about
Hmm.
the reason you started this organization, but the stress that it puts on the family.
It's horrible.
It does.
That I
It does.
mean,
And I mean, and it's tough because you do meet a lot of families and you see even single parents dealing with this, which I can't even imagine not having a partner through this. That just we as parents and as families, it's difficult. And then when you add the stress of something like this, let alone the anxiety that you have, but then the financial side of the stress of medical bills. They I was reading there was a actually my wife had mentioned this, and the normal statistic in the United States is that we have about a 50% shot of keeping our families together because of divorce rate, but then it spikes up to over 80% when you have something like this happen. It obviously is just detrimental to
The
to
stress
a
on your
family.
relationship. Yeah, it'll definitely
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
test your marriage.
Yeah. Well.
that's there's a lot of things that we don't talk about because it's not just with the parents, it's
the
your other
siblings.
children are affected,
Yep.
siblings of
I
the
would
child.
say
I mean,
it.
because they don't understand it. They could be younger or older, and they're still, they have a really hard time understanding what's going on. And it's always hard to have a conversation with another child in your family and keeping them updated on what's going on because, you're trying to deal with it with you and your partner. Um,
Much less the kid that's going through it. I mean, a hospital is
right.
is a
It's a
it, it
scary
it's
place.
an
I don't
It
care.
it's an
I
is.
mean,
intimidating
And,
place.
they
I hate
say,
them.
I do
I do
too.
too.
I
It's
don't know if there's
very
I
many
do.
very
people outside of the
intimidating.
ones that work there. I don't know if there's many people that really enjoy being in a hospital.
I don't like the dentist, let
Um,
alone a hospital.
No,
I am
and
with you on that.
yeah,
and Chris's wife
absolutely
works
right.
for one of the bigger
She
hospitals here.
does, yes.
But man, it's just I thought when you and I spoke, I thought you were just so spot on with all your plans with this organization,
Yeah.
and
And this is our first year, so it's a building year. We're raising money. We've had one fundraiser already. We're going to have a blood drive here at Sparks Toyota. I confirmed it already. It's going to be the 10th. We also have a celebration coming up with Luca's end of treatment because he'll be. I mean, it's been the longest 2.5 years of our lives, but um, everything is worked out. It's been successful. He's in remission. But
That's
his end of
awesome.
treatment will be in May. We'll have the blood drive on May 10th here at Sparks Toyota. So we ask everyone to come out and donate. The proceeds are going to go to the foundation as part of our fundraising efforts. And it just, there's lots of different things we've talked about, what we want to do with the organization. We want to team up with other organizations like yourselves, because honestly, the first couple years are going to be difficult for us to get as hands-on with, because you get so invested, not only in your own family, but all the other families that are affected.
yep,
There is a little PTSD, as a parent, because it's a very emotional thing. Um, but we want to be able to help other families. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel by any means. We'd like to help with maybe, the idea, because there's a lot of great organizations that do help out financially. We want to be able to help families get through those processes and understand who's out there, who can help. And we'd like to, long term, we put goals very high up there. We like to do something in the Grand Strand, because I don't think most people realize, when you have a child that is going through this, like, you can't get a transfusion locally. We
Right.
can't, unfortunately, go to the local hospitals, no matter which one it is, and get a transfusion for Luca. It has to go through a certain process. That blood has to go through a process for anyone who's going through cancer treatment. So we have to take that 2-hour drive.
Yep.
So, if we can maybe down the road in a few years, we've made a ton of great connections. One of our sponsors that we're working with is more on the mental health side. That's Coastal Carolina Behavioral Health. I've been able to help Ann, one of the owners here at Sparks Toyota, and we connected and talked more about just different ideas. And, also, there's been so much support locally from other businesses like Leverage Roofing. They're a huge sponsor of ours. Obviously, Sparks Toyota, part of our golf tournament, is what we're talking about, is putting a vehicle on one of the par 3 holes to see if you can get a hole in one.
Oh,
and win
yeah.
a vehicle. So we're still working out the details of what the vehicle will be, but it'll be a new Toyota 24.
That's
New,
awesome.
new Tacomas you were talking
We're really
about.
trying to really,
That'd be nice.
really get some real great ideas together. We've been pushing around a couple different ideas and for the golf tournament. But going back to the foundation, just we want to be able to help locally. Start local. We'd like to obviously help families in the Grand Strand, families in South Carolina. Just being able to see how we can help the local community.
Just a support
honestly,
group.
there are many children locally that are even affected by
That's
this.
right, and a lot of people don't realize that. Like, I mean, it's amazing. Like, I don't want to give names out because, but right now, you and I spoke about this one family. Remember?
Yeah.
And I'm following her whole story and watching what she's going through down at MUSC right now. And I've tried to work to get our dogs in there, but unfortunately, right now she's so ill that
can't do it.
Yeah. But
and we've been incredibly blessed with everything we've been through, and it's heartbreaking to see the difficult things everyone else is going through.
I mean, I can't imagine.
I couldn't either.
No.
I can't imagine.
Nope.
It's just impossible to think about what you went through, and you're open about it. You said that you're going that pretty much everybody in your family is going through therapy. And
I mean, it's a very, as a dad, you kind of compartmentalize a lot of the things, a lot of the stresses, and because you have to push through. I mean, this week we were going away to Florida for a cancer retreat, and it is 12 families, and it's an organization that has it's in Florida. It'll be 12 families that have children that are going through the process, just like Luca.
Yep.
And it'll give an opportunity to Luca to be around other kids that understand. It's same thing with with our oldest. She'll have an opportunity to be around kids her age, and obviously parents for us. That we can. It'll be interesting to see how, and honestly, I think it'll be very inspiring to see how we can help as well.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you
think
what,
talking about it is
there's
awesome, because so many people hold stuff like that in, and they, like you said, they compartmentalize everything, and they just don't talk about a lot of stuff. But being around other people who's dealing with the same situation and being able to talk to them, that's got to be so much relief just on you mentally.
That,
just get it out.
I can't even imagine.
And that's like at the very beginning. You're like, all of us. My wife, our children were extremely thankful for everyone that first 3 to 6 months when he was diagnosed. Just everyone, reaching out, wanting to help. But the most difficult thing is when we were in that situation, we had no idea what we needed. We had no idea how we were going to get through it. And that's part of our core foundation is the fact that we've been through it. You know, we can kind of help.
Help.
When we go to a family and say, what do you need? We kind of have an idea now. Obviously we have an inside track and an insight of being able to say, hey, you don't even realize this is what you're going to look at in the next few months.
That's right.
This is how we can
Expect
help.
this.
This is just, let us guide you through at least a time where you have no idea what's up from down.
Amen.
All right, about 2 minutes.
Hey,
guys.
if somebody wants to get in touch with you, wants to get involved with the group, and then I do want to talk some Toyotas. But if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to find out more information on your organization?
So we do have a website, strongmanlukajames.com. We're in the process of developing that website, so please have patience with us.
Okay.
But we do, my wife and Sherry, my wife's aunt, have been, they are really the forefront of the foundation. And their emails are Sherry, and SHARI, at Strongman Luka James. And then my wife, Kate, which is KATE, at strongmanlukajames.com. That's probably the easiest way to get in contact with the foundation.
Perfect.
We will have up our sign-up sheets as well, and we do have on Facebook. We're also developing a page for the foundation. We have a private group that we gave updates for Luca, but then you can always find myself or my wife or the strongman.com, strongmanlukajames.com.
Yep. And I'm going to get the when
by
you get
all means,
those.
I'm very. You can find me here, Sparks Toyota.
That's right. That's what. Yeah, we're going to send them over to
your
Sparks.
anniversary for the show. This is my 10th year, August.
Wow, so we're
congratulations on your
celebrating.
anniversary
Hey,
as well.
thank you, brother. And listen, 10 years at the same dealership. That's pretty special in the world of auto sales.
You
know that.
And it's a difficult industry. Obviously, going through COVID made it difficult when we didn't have cars.
Yep.
Or we had a very short supply of them.
Yep.
And now here, since it was, I think, summer of 2020 where everything really got tightened up. Now we have a full inventory, and we have a lot of great manufacturer programs, incentivizations, and we're getting back to what we used to consider normal.
Right.
And we have a lot of great new products. I'm sure you've heard that.
We want to hear about the Tacoma real quick, but we got to make it real quick. But we want to hear about the new Tacoma. Is it as bad as they're saying?
But it's an all new redesign, and it's a phenomenal vehicle. It almost, people call it the mini Tundra, because that was just redesigned in 22. So it's super exciting. And the new Camry this summer will be out here in May.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, listen, man, we've got to get out of here. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it, man. And Luca continues in our prayers.
The opportunity.
Oh, absolutely. Well, listen, all right, fish heads, we got to get out of here. It's been a great time. Want to thank Bert for showing up. Want to thank Don, who's going to be actually, if you continue to listen, we're going to get Shep Richard and Don on. You'll go to our podcast platform. You can catch the rest of the show in entirety over on any of the podcast platforms. But we got to get out of here. So on behalf of Captain Chris and Carolina Hook and Fly, what? I got it right.
Got it right. Yes,
on behalf of Tony the Bassmaster Carter, on behalf of Super Jenna in the studio, keeping things straight, I'm Captain E. Everyone have a wonderful, happy Easter.
Hey, Alana.
And we will catch you guys next week on the Southern Anglers Radio Show here on Gator 107.9. This is going to be a new segment called After the Show. We got a little bonus segment this week here. We got Shep Richard and Don Nesmith, who we have told you have been sitting here the entire show. We're going to sit and talk to them for real quick and add a little segment here. Shep was meeting me to talk a little bit about some Facebook things and everything else. We want to talk about that because I think Shep is going to be offering. We're really pushing to offer some private parties and everything else.
Yes.
And we'll talk about that a little bit more. And let's talk about Don's Kayak Group, which is continuing to grow every week.
Yes, it is.
Happy Saturday to you guys. Thanks for coming out and hanging out
you.
after the show. I want to give Captain Chris Regan a big shout out. Thank you so much for taking the day off and making sure we had a full staff here for the show. But real quick, Don, talk about your kayak group. Let's go ahead and get everybody out there so they can find out and get involved. Kayak fishing has grown. Listen, I know as much as you beg me to go, and I keep refusing to go, just because I don't go doesn't mean that it hadn't grown. And honestly, if you felt my shoulders and the pain that I deal with in my shoulders, and I do realize that you can pedal them.
Oh, I got that.
Or better yet, you just press a button and say go on his.
Yes, that's right. And I'll put you in mine. I will get in my spare kayak and I'll put you in the motorized kayak because I feel your pain. I can't paddle and I can't pedal. I can, but for a very short distance on either one, and then my body is spent.
Yeah, your knees are like mine. They're gone.
If I go out and had to actually pedal a whole 8-hour event, I would not physically walk for 3 days after the fact. That's just the way it is, man. My body is beat. So, yes, I use it.
I want to get something out of the way real quick. To hell with those kayak groups that want to shun anybody with a motor on it. What difference does it make, for real?
It's an advantage.
What? Oh, yeah, it's an advantage.
I fished 2 tournaments with a motor and didn't even catch a fish, but it's an advantage.
But it's an advantage. Hey, what is the difference?
It's a power trip.
Tell me, huh?
It's a power trip.
It's the same thing that they're going through right now with the live scope versus old school. It's just controversy. It's just drama.
Yep.
But the point that Don keeps bringing up to people, you want to enjoy fishing. It's made for everybody from every age, from 8 to 80, cripple blind, crazy.
Yep.
It's just that way.
Yep.
And there comes a point in people's lives when they're not able to do it
the way they used to.
Exactly. And
I was a purist. I only paddled. I swore by only paddling.
You're physically not able.
I'm not able anymore. It is what it is.
A trolling motor on the back of your boat just gives you the opportunity to go out and continue to enjoy doing what you've done your whole life.
That's exactly
Now,
it, period. It's not an advantage. The only place it's an advantage is right there what we're looking at. When I got to fight the tide, that's the only advantage that I have.
The tide and the wind.
That's it.
Yep.
I see where people come from. I see both sides of it. So I'll play devil's advocate. I don't care. But you're going to ban a trolling motor, but you're not going to ban
a pedal power who's faster than me.
Or a friggin' live scope to where you can actually watch a live feed of the fish swimming around your boat makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
To say you're just to outright say you're not allowed because you have a handicap is ludicrous. I'm sorry. I don't agree with it at all.
Yep.
I get you, and I'm on, I don't want to put it, thin ice. I won't say thin ice. It's a slippery slope for me. I'm not out bad-mouthing people that don't want motors in their clubs. It's your club, and you can have what you want. Like the Queen City group, they're purists. It's paddle only. It's not even pedal power. It's paddle only. Anything in North Carolina on them Queen City lakes, you're paddling straight out.
And I can appreciate that. That is wonderful. But
it doesn't make it fair for the guy that can't paddle. That's my thing. It doesn't make it fair for the guy that can't paddle. He can't enter the tournament. He's not allowed.
And I love the fact that a lot of people have this preconception that kayak is a cheap way to fish.
No.
You know how much some of these kayaks are? We've talked about it. Good Lord.
Yeah.
They're expensive.
Yep.
For real. Yeah, absolutely. You're in.
I wanted to ask you a question about the
there you go.
The paddling situation. Is that just your call not to use that because you feel like you're not in as good a shape anymore?
No, for the pedals?
Yes.
I have a tumor that's encompassed 2 discs on my spine.
So
if I go out and pedal for 6 hours, if I go out and pedal for an hour and a half, it flames that up. And I'm not walking for 3 days. And I've got other things in my life that I have to do to make people happy. I can't say, hey, I can't come to your house and fix this for 3 days because I went out and pedaled a kayak for 4 hours.
But I
can't do that.
If somebody that doesn't have that kind of situation,
pedal kayaks are the way. If bang for the buck to start out, go that. Initially, your kayak's going to cost you an extra $1,000 because that's what a pedal drive system costs across the board for any brand. Right. They are faster than a motorized kayak, straight out. If you got the leg strength, you can outrun me.
Is there any need for a motor if the person is in good shape?
No, none at all.
No.
You can take a pedal kayak and go anywhere that I go. Heck, we've seen them. Me and you've seen them out
at 3
past
Mile.
3 Mile.
Yep.
And
paddling
I
around.
know guys who do it the old school traditional paddle.
And like I said, I'm a purist and I would love to still paddle, but between the stuff growing in my chest and the thing growing on my back, it's made it where I can only use a motor. I really can.
You talking to a dude who's had 4 shoulder surgeries.
I get it.
How long do you think I could last on a kayak?
Paddling an hour at best.
Yeah.
Especially out here with this wind and the current, you wouldn't make it an hour, and you would be wore out, and I'd have to hook a rope to you and tow you in.
Exactly.
That's the way it would be.
That's exactly.
Shep, are you thinking about a kayak over there?
I'm always thinking. I just got to get on the water.
Well, I got 3 of them in the yard. You're more than welcome to take one and use it anytime to see if that's what you want to venture into. You're more than welcome to take one and go.
I appreciate it.
Anytime you want.
I would love to put anybody in it. I fished these waters from a John boat to a big boat, and then I got in kayaks in the very early 90s, and that was the end of boats. Because I can get where I want to get in a kayak without the expense of a boat, without the insurance on a boat, without all the aggravation of trying to launch a boat. I can launch a yak at Stanley Drive or Shell Landing or even over at the abandoned strip there by Marlin Quay if I can sneak it in and find a parking spot for the truck. But catching a fish sitting 6 inches off the water is a total different thing than
It
catching
is a
that
different
fish,
beast.
whether it's in a John boat or a big boat. It don't just even a 3-pound blue sitting in the seat of a kayak. Man, it's just a total different feeling. Once you get that rush, it's hard to go back.
Now, English, you were saying on the Southern Anglers radio show earlier today that you would be fishing in the Wahoo tournament.
Yep.
Will that be with your boat?
No. We fish. My partner Lucas Williams has a 32 yellowfin, and we fish it.
Nice.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, my fuel tank is just not comfortable. I'm not comfortable with 80 gallons. I think I could do it. Chris, don't
you're
you?
Run short on
I
fuel?
think I could make it. I think I would probably need to bring a 10-gallon bladder or something
So
up front.
it's
You're not going to be doing a whole lot of high-speed trolling.
No, that's the thing. I mean,
it's
it'll
not the style of boat. It's the amount of fuel you can.
exactly
It's the range you can get on.
Yeah,
your
I'm not
boat.
worried about the I'm gonna pick and choose my days.
Yeah.
I'm too old. I'm gonna pick and choose my days the best I can. Sometimes you just got to go, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I am gonna pick and choose my days. But one thing I wanted to mention earlier on the show was a congratulations to Chris. I'll tell you what, folks, if you're on Facebook and Qualified Captain's new ad comes up, you got to check them out. It's awesome. That ad turned out great on Qualified Captains. Go Google them. They do apparel. They have apparel and such. But the new commercial that they've got is all our guys right here. It's all MIFC guys. And
Nice.
it is friggin' top notch. I know Drew actually created that, correct? Did Drew create it, or did he just shoot the video?
Photography and video.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, it is top quality, top notch, but really awesome to see you guys on there. Shep Richard came down to join me to talk about some stuff. But, Shep, let's talk about your private Shep to the Stars. Let's talk about our what are you offering? So you were offering, I mean, you just did a great one with Ned and Brandy Campbell and that crowd.
Yeah.
But you're coming over and doing A, you'll come cook for you, or
Right.
B, what you like to do
Right.
is educate them.
Exactly. It's more of an event than, like, say, a dinner party. What I've done over the last couple of years is I've sort of honed it down to a cooking demonstration where there's typically 4 courses, right? Nobody goes away hungry.
Right.
Right. I do everything right in front of them. It's all, you can engage with me. And also, I tell the stories of what it was like to work, for Hollywood's A-list for 25 years. And even some of the dishes are connected to the celebrities that I worked for. I did one in Phoenix last week, and I was doing an arrabbiata sauce. Which
And that's another thing I want you to make sure we go back to. I want you to talk about all the groups that you're cooking for now. Keep going, but you're cooking for some big groups. You're traveling around and cooking with Wounded Warriors. You're cooking with other
and I mean, except for the veteran type things, I'm pretty much done with travel. I'm just tired of it. But anyway,
Well, it's cutting into your fishing, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get me started. My wife talked.
Oh,
about it
I'm
last
sure.
trip.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so just a quick example. I was doing this arrabbiata, which is a roasted garlic tomato sauce, a little bit spicy, and I was telling the story about how I learned how to do that when I was working for Tom Cruise. One time, he and Nicole came into the kitchen. I was just getting ready to serve dinner, and they said, "We hope we don't offend you, but would you mind? We're really into. We really have a hankering for Italian food tonight, you know." And I said, no, I'm thinking to myself, I get out of work early. What do I care, right? And they said, here's the other thing. Would you mind picking it up for us? And I'm like, yeah, that's no problem. So I go down a very, very high-end restaurant in Brentwood, and I walk in, and it's an open kitchen. So the chefs are all right there. I'm wearing my chef whites. And they look over. I'm waiting for the order, and they look over at me, and they said, "What's wrong, chef? You can't cook like this?" And I said, "Nah, it's just my people like junk food every once in a while."
Oh,
They were throwing things at me.
Oh,
anyway, so I get it back to
Lanta.
the house, and I like to say it didn't affect my ego, but it did a little bit. So I'm tasting the sauce. I taste the sauce. It's this arrabbiata sauce, and I go, I can do that. It's a piece of cake, right? So the next week, I made an arrabbiata sauce for Nicole for her lunch. She turns around and she says, "Did you get this from that restaurant?" I said, "No, I did that." The people who are at the cooking demonstrations, they go crazy for stories like that, especially knowing that that's what I'm preparing as one of the courses
For them.
Yeah, it's cool.
for them. So people come in first, like I said before, people come away there. Nobody goes away hungry, and they come away, knowing a little bit about what it's like, behind the scenes. Plus, every person or couple gets a personally autographed cookbook.
And the
that's
cookbook's
cool.
got some awesome stuff
Yeah,
in it.
and I supply all the food as well, and an assistant who helps clean up, so nobody has to worry about anything.
Who's your assistant?
A friend of mine.
Oh, I was wondering if it might be Heidi.
No.
No,
I want my marriage to continue.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Well, so
cool.
you and I started reaching out to you last week or week before. I said, "All right, Chef, you got to get your scene. You got to get your Facebook social media scene picked up because you're missing out."
Yeah.
And I was sending you my friend Tiger Thompson's
Yep.
page and his stuff, and I'm like, and the Gringo Ninja or whatever he is, and so we got to get your page picked up, and I think that's what we're here for. We're working on.
Yeah, I've had a business page.
It can be overwhelming. I mean,
glad
that
you
social
say that.
media stuff can be overwhelming. I'm glad he's still here. I was hoping Jason was going to be here because we talked about that, to have Jason help you. Jason, unfortunately, just sent me a picture of emergency room.
Oh.
He is at the doctor. Yeah. He's at emergency care or one of those.
All right.
He's got either bronchitis or strep throat or something.
Oh boy.
That's not good.
No, but
Yeah.
maybe we'll get.
good.
Maybe Chris can help us because I think.
Or just give me the name of the hospital and I'll bring my computer over.
Take your computer over. Yeah, no, I wouldn't go right now. You may walk out sick. You go in healthy and leave sick.
Yeah, that could happen.
But man, it's so hard to figure out because what you've done is created. You've tried to take all your many friends and move them over to your business page.
Right.
And then also with that business page, you want to be able to. I think this is where you're going. You want to be able to follow other pages,
Right.
interact with other businesses.
Right.
So,
And here's the thing, and this may sound so juvenile, but on your personal Facebook page, you've got your list of people on the right that will contact you or whatever.
Yep.
And there's this slew of posts from people.
Yep.
Right.
And you're not seeing it on your
not on the
Nope.
professional page.
because you won't until you personally follow them or they follow you. Correct, Chris? Isn't that how it works on the business page? Yeah.
But if I don't see anybody, how do I know to follow them?
You've got to get into the search mode and start going through, and we'll show you how to do
okay.
that. I'll show you because I had the same problem. And Tony, we have a our Thursday big bass battle, and so I think we may have 3 businesses that we follow or they follow us or something, and one of them is Walters at the Waka Wachee Marina.
Yep.
And Tony was trying to figure out why he was seeing all these Walters posts, and I was like, because we follow them or they follow us. One of the two, as it turned out, they follow us. but he couldn't figure that out. But that's how it is. So we'll get in there and show you. But what you have to do is switch yourself over to that business page,
Right.
and then you get back into then you go back into the world of Facebook, and then you go through and find your businesses that you want to follow. Am I correct, Chris? Yeah, you share it to all your friends. Yep.
Which I believed I had done that.
I think I tried to add y'all's Big Bass Group to the kayak page
And
to
you
get
couldn't.
it out there, and I can't. I want to share.
It's because we got to accept it. Because maybe Tony hadn't seen it or one of us hadn't seen it. But if you send us the
No, it's
invite,
'cause
we
I
have
don't
to
know
accept
how.
it.
I don't know how to add it either. I was trying to add it. So
Well, we're going to get a lot accomplished here in just a minute.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, listen. Hey, after the show, little segment here. It was a great segment sitting with Don, Shep Richard, and again, Captain Chris, thanks for taking the day off. Now we are
Can I
going
plug one thing?
Yeah, come on, plug it.
April 20th, Santee Monster Kayak Anglers, 4th stop. We're at Gordis Amos Landing on Lake Moultrie. It's on Fishing Chaos. Come join us. It's going to be a great bass tournament. Shout out to Sean Scott, who's sitting at 57 inches today at the other tournament at Stump Hole. Good job.
Go ahead and get familiar with Fishing Chaos, everybody, because that is going to be our platform for the rodeo.
I mean, for everybody across the nation, it is the new way to fish tournaments.
Yep.
It really is.
Make sure you get familiar with it, download it, get on involved. And, hey, listen, we'll be back next week. We're going to have some more exciting stuff going on. I think next week we are back in the studio. What's next weekend? The 6th. Oh, we got to figure out next week. We'll get that figured out between now and then. But anyway, happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter.
And again,
Thank you, Captain E.
thanks to all the guys for hanging out, coming down to the dock here on Jason's big wooden deck. This is the Southern Anglers Radio Show. We'll see you next week.
Trilogy Outdoors Podcast is a product of Trilogy Outdoors Media. All views and opinions of our hosts and guests are not necessarily those of our sponsors. Trilogy Outdoors is produced and edited by Trilogy Outdoors Media. Be sure to follow us on all the podcast platforms as well as our social media pages on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And also don't forget our other brands, Southern English Radio Show and Walk 'Em All Outdoor Magazine. To find more information, visit TrilogyOutdoorsMedia.com. And remember, if it's anything dealing with fins, fur, and feathers, you're going to find it right here on Trilogy Outdoors.